Hello, this is Black Marvin for Ghost Act, and today we're gonna learn some layering techniques. Layering plays a great role in having a professional sound in electronic music. A lot of the times I get asked by students, how does that artist made that sound? Or how do you think he made this? Or how does he achieve that sound? Yes, there's a sound design aspect to it, but most of the time the answer would be it's a bunch of layers well put together. I'm far from being the one who invented this technique, but I started doing this after I've heard Ilan Bluestone talking about it on an interview. And yeah, speaking of Ilan Bluestone, it kind of is in the context today because the layering techniques I'm going to show you, I'm going to use the Serum presets from the Ultimate Colors of Trance pack to do so. So there's a kind of trance theme going on around this tutorial, and I'm really happy about it. So now let's talk about layering properly. If I had to boil it down to a really simple concept, I'd say it's just layering sounds that have synergy. All right? Because layering sounds is, yes, but they need to have synergy. They need to just, you layer them and they're not even EQ'd and you already have that, you know, nice synergy going on. It's already blending. All right, you don't need to if you need to EQ and put a bunch of things on the sound just to, you know, make them fit and make them layer properly. It might not be the right sound to use for your layer. Also, another important thing, you want to have a core layer. All right, this is the core of your sound. That's gonna, everything's gonna gravitate around. All right, I chose mine. All right, so I chose mine. It's the Ghost Act Trance Lead 2006 because it does sound a lot like the trance in 2006. So let's hear what it is. You might recognize the melody. It's from a old trance classic called Grease 2000, and it's from Tree Drives. Great track. So this is going to be my core layer. Now what I want to find is just another sound that has that synergy, that adds something, and they kind of already blend together. So let's find that. So I loaded the preset. Sounds good alone. Let's hear how it sounds. On its own, it sounds good. Now let's go check if it blends together with our core layer. Yeah, for me, it's a yes. So now we are at, there's no EQ. It's just, you know, both sounds roughly together. Let's hear. I'll start with the core layer and then I'll bring in the second layer. It adds something. The second one might be a little bit too loud, but we're gonna fix this on a later stage. All right, because those first first thing you want to do is just sort out a bunch of layers that sounds good, and after that we're going to process them. So let's add more. So I have a plucked Ghost Act Trance plug, Take Me Away. But But the thing is, just how it sounds right now, I think we should put it in on octave up, but you'll see. Doesn't sound so, sounds good, but we already, our two layers kind of are in the same frequency, so we might, well, let's hear how it sounds on that octave. It sounds better than I thought it would, to be honest. That's the synergy we're talking about. But let's hear just the first layers. Okay, just for fun, let's hear it an octave up. Sounds good in both situations. What I think I'll do is I will keep it on the octave up, but what it made me realize is that we have a lot of hairy high notes. Maybe we need a layer just a bit more in the lower frequencies to for the other layer to sit on top of it, just to give it some beef, and I'll try to find that. Right now I loaded Ghost Act Trance Lead the Light. So far every preset I've tried has gone well. Hopefully I'll stumble across one that doesn't fit so much, so I can give you an example of not synergy or bad, just some sounds that just doesn't coexist properly together. But yeah, so far it's been going great. Yeah, this sounds good, but that's not what I wanted to use use it for. Yeah, it sounds good, but it's definitely too high in frequencies. I'm gonna lower it down 2 octaves. Let's try that, and I could even maybe more go 1 octave lower, but let's hear it. Okay, without it. It's 1 octave lower. Yeah, I must say I'm tempted to just bring it back up, because it doesn't behave like I thought it would on the, again, on the maybe lower frequencies. That I don't feel like the high layers sit well on top of this one. So this one doesn't behave good in the low frequency, but when it's with the others, it gives like that trance magic. Now we have 4 layers, and I really want to demonstrate that precision layering and good layering is actually putting a bunch of layers, really like more than you thought it would need. So I'm gonna keep layering stuff, maybe for 1 or 2 layer, and after that we'll do other stuff. But yeah, that's what I want to demonstrate. Like, don't hesitate to just don't put like 2 layers and yay compression. That's good. True layering techniques, you need to put a bunch of stuff. So I think I have an example of a layer that won't really work here. It's layer 5. It's not that bad, but it's, you see, it's kind of the sound is not bad on itself, but it's kind of not in the same vibe than the previous layers. I don't hear that same synergy, so that would be an example of not a good layer. So we'll find something else. So I have the Ghost Act Trance lead Navarro, and yeah, sounds like this. Sounds good. I'm sure it will fit well our layering. Let's listen with the others. Alright, now I have for this tutorial enough of layers to work with. For that lead, because I'm going to layer other stuff, I'm going to just take that MIDI and extract or just make some pad MIDI with this one. But yeah, for that lead I have enough. And now let's do like every layers together, but add them progressively. So we're gonna start with the core layer. Now let's add some pads. So I have this gorgeous trance preset, which sounds, it's like those trance super saws, crazy, and we're gonna add the pad layer with the MIDI we have. I'm going to show you how to kind of, like I said, extract or make a pad layer out of a more regular MIDI. So I'm gonna just paste this one. Oh, already sounds good, but I want to try that just like that. Nah, we can do better. The easier would be to start with the lowest notes. So you see the F sharp here. Like logically, that would be go until here, here. Still keep on the lowest note. You're getting the pattern here. Okay, now I have it. So what I did is just extracted like a bass pad pattern out of that MIDI. What I did is you've seen me just stretching those low notes. All right, so I know for sure that those notes are used in the melody, and I just stayed using those same note that you can hear over and over. But for a pad, you cannot play like arpeggiated like the main melody. But I've used them to, you know, just long notes and try to craft it like just the order myself, but easily just extracted that MIDI out of the melody. That's just great. I could go on and on layering other pads, but let's just stick with this and focus on these here. So now let's EQ and compress. So we have all our layers here. Let's start with layer 1, which is technically the core layer, and also with the leveling, you want obviously your core layer to be louder or some sort of have more presence. So let's do this one. I'm going to EQ quickly here. I'm not going to go in all the details because I've already did in the EQing tutorials. You can go check these out if you feel you need to know more about EQing. There's 3-part and maybe more even coming out, so you can go check that out. So layer 2 is definitely too loud. If you just look at it right here, it comes out too loud compared to the core layer. Layer 3. See, it's like this one solo is really not blowing any people's minds, but in the bunch of layers it adds something. Maybe just a little less louder. Let's EQ layer 4. Let's EQ layer 5. Also, let's make layer 5 less louder. Maybe just boost to make the plucking aspect of it, make that shine a bit. Alright, now that I EQ'd all the layers quickly, but you know, just those small changes do a lot. Maybe let's do a bypass with the EQing. So now with that, those small EQing changes, it's making things blend more together. And now it's time to do some compression, because anything you want to layer and you want it to glue together, okay? You want that consolidation effect, and you can achieve that by putting a compressor on it. So first, you're going to select all these with Control plus left click, and you're gonna route to this track only, and you're gonna make a bus. Let's make it pretty. So I routed every lead channel, not the pad layer, but every lead channel into the lead layer bus, and I've loaded a Fruity compressor. I like using the FL Studio plugins to show you how to achieve things, because you can start working with these right away. You don't have to purchase any special plugin or anything. But also after that, I'm going to show you another compressor that I use. So to achieve that gluing effect, there's some better compressor than others, but you want to have you want to make the compressor work just a little bit, all right? So just so you have that gluing effect. You don't want to overcompress, because in any way there's going to be other compression applied in other stages of your production. But just soft compression to make it work a bit, and that's what we're going to do. So I have it. Yeah, it's doing what I wanted it to do. Those are the settings I use. You don't want to have a high ratio, especially because what I said, you want to have the compressor working a bit, but not having too much gain reduction. I've set the threshold by here at minus 20. For the attack, in this case, we have sounds that are kind of plucky. I wanted to preserve that attack, so I don't want my attack to be too short. And you know, release, I went fairly by here, and I've stayed with art, but we could go with let's say vintage. So now let's bypass the compressor and bring it back so we can hear what it's doing. Yeah, it's bring all those leads together. Slight difference, but enjoyable and useful one. And now I just want to show you a compressor that I love using, because it adds color and it just sounds, there's a lot of character to it. So the compressor that I use is the Slate Digital FG116 Vintage, but in fact the old series is really nice. So I'm going to try to get the same effect that I had with the Fruity compressor, but with this one. Now let's compare what this one does. I'm gonna start bypassed. Different compressor, different tones, and also I kept it really minimal in terms of processing. I usually do a bunch more processing. I have some favorite secret plugins, but for the sake of keeping this tutorial not too long, I stayed with this, but just with EQing and compression on the bus and 5 layers, and we achieved something that sounds good and much better than 1 or 2 layers just put there. So that was the layering tutorial. I encourage you to use this technique. Try layering a bunch of stuff. It also works with bassline, percussion. So like I said, to achieve professional sound using plugins like this, you need to layer multiple layers and do it properly. So if you like the video, don't forget to subscribe for more content by myself or other Girls Act producers. And go check out that amazing Trance Pack Ultimate Colors of Trance. There's so many stuff offered in there. Serum preset, samples, MIDI, and go produce some lovely trance yourself. I will see you in another video. Ciao.